In the previous video, we modeled the individual components of the universal coupling here with these dimensions. Now in this video, we are going to create the final assembly. So this is the reference for the final assembly. So we create a new file. This time, the workbench should be assembly, units, millimeters. This is the final assembly. And then we save it in the same folder. Okay. So this is the assembly workbench. We have this pop-up menu here to add a component. So we are going to first add a nut, which will be the fixed part. So come to open. In the folder we have the nut here. Okay. By default, the system will place the nuts in the absolute center here, as we can see. So the component anchor, absolute assembly location, absolute display part. And when you come to specify orientation, we have this coordinate system here to rotate or move the nut. So click on this point here to rotate about the ZC axis, which is the vertical axis. So click on it and rotate it by 90 degrees. Okay. And then you create a fixed constraint. So yes. So this nut is fixed in the absolute center. You get to understand why we fixed it in the absolute center very soon. Next, we add the first fork and then the second fork. So come to assemblies. We have all these commands for the assembly workbench. So first add. We need 2 number of forks. Come to open and then click on the fork. Okay. Now specify orientation and then click any area to move the forks. Okay. This is the orientation of the first fork. So click on the fork and then move. Now, with this rotation about the XC axis, which is the horizontal axis, click on it and then move it down by 90 degrees. Okay. Now let's add constraints. So you're first going to center the nut in this fork and then align the holes in the fork and the nut. So assembly constraint. You're first going to center. So with this center constraint, and then 2 to 2 subtype, click on this face and this face, which will be the outer faces, and then on the nuts, click on this face and then this face, and you can see the nut has been centered. So now let's align the holes. So with the align or the inverse center or axis, the axis of this hole and the axis, I will zoom in the axis of this hole. As we can see. Okay. Now I want to check if there are any rotations anywhere. So click on the fork. You can see we can move it up and down. So with the parallel constraint, click on this face and then this face of the nut. Apply. And then the second fork has this orientation. So again, click on the fork, move, and then we want to rotate in this manner. by 90 degrees and then rotate down, okay, not this way, down by 90 degrees. Okay, again we center in the vertical orientation and then we align the holes. So assembly constraint, again center 2 to 2, first this face and then this face, and then the second set, this face of the nut and then this face of the nut as well. And then with the infer center and axis, the axis of this hole and then the axis of this hole in the nut. Again click and you can rotate in this manner, so parallel this face of the fork and then this face of the nut. Okay, next we insert the shafts. So again add component, we need 2 shafts. Okay, specify orientation, move it up. Okay, now we add the first constraint. We want to align the center axis of the shaft and the hole in the fork, but we don't want any rotation, so we are going to use the align lock. Then lock this center line and this center line, and then touch this face and this face. Then we do same to this shaft as well, so align and lock this center axis and the center axis of this fork. And we want to reverse the last constraint to turn the fork in this orientation and then touch this face of the shaft with this face. Okay, then we insert the bush as well. So we need 2 bushes. Okay, assembly constraints, again align lock this center line and this center line, pull it back, this center line and this center line, and then pull it. Okay, so pull this inside, and then you want to touch this face and this face, and again this face, not the face, so deselect all, the face and this face of the bush. Okay, then we insert the pins and the bolts. So we need 2 pins, and then rotate it to be upside down like this. Insert one here and the other one here. So assembly constraints, align lock the center of the shaft on the pin and then this hole. Again, and here as well. And then touch this face and this face. Same here. Okay. Now we want to pattern in a circular manner instead of adding 3 more pins here and 3 more pins as well here. So pattern component, click on this pin for the component to pattern. The layout circular, the axis of rotation, just click on the circular axis here. Spacing, count and span, 4 pins in total, and a span angle of 360 degrees. Apply. Then we do same for this side as well. So click on the pin, the axis, click on the circular axis, same parameters here. Okay. Then we insert the bolt. So again, add component. We need just 1 bolt. Okay. Bring it up here and then rotate it upside down. Okay. So assembly constraint. Again, align, lock the center and then the center of the hole. Touch this face and this face. Okay. Then you pattern to get 4 bolts here in total. So pattern component, click on the bolt, a circular pattern. This time the specify vector or the axis of revolution. We have no round feature here to select, so you're going to use these arrows. So we want to rotate about this horizontal axis, and then the point, come to the point dialog, and then the reference is all 0 so that you can select the absolute center. This is why we placed the nuts in the center. Okay. Same parameters, 360 degree angle and 4 bolts. Okay. Now I'll hide all the constraints. So view, show and hide all, and then show only the solid bodies. You can also change the appearance. So come to true shading, the global materials. You can go with any material you want. I'll maintain this brushed metal wash. And yeah, that's how to create the universal coupling assembly using Siemens NX. This is the end of the tutorial. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you out. Please make sure you like the video, subscribe and turn on post notification so you don't miss any tutorial upload. Now see you in the next one. Safe.